I know this isn't really a great lighting situation, but I just wanted to talk about my experience with an HSG sonogram. If you don't know what it is, I'm just gonna read what it says that it is and talk about my experience with it. So they say that the Sono HSG is a simple, well-tolerated ultrasound procedure used to evaluate the patency of the fallopian tubes as well as detect abnormalities of the uterus. The procedure usually takes between 10 and 30 minutes to complete, and the results are available immediately. Okay, so I got one about 3 weeks ago. And the reason I got it is because I've been seeing a fertility doctor, and I've been struggling to get pregnant, and I've suffered miscarriages, and I also have polycystic, and now come to find out that I have thyroid disease as well. So my doctor said that I needed to have this sonogram HSG to detect if I had a blockage in my fallopian tubes. He told me it would be painless. It doesn't take 10 to 30 minutes. Mine was literally 5 minutes, maybe 10 at the most. He just advised me to take 800 milligrams of Motrin an hour prior to my procedure. So I'm just going to run you guys through that day for me. I was wicked stressed out about this. I was more scared about the results than I was the pain, because I have a very strong pain tolerance. Things don't really bother me the way it would other people. I know other women that have had this, and they said it was the most painful thing they've ever gone through in their life. So that was in the back of my head as well. But I knew I needed to have this procedure done to see exactly what was causing me to miscarriage and what was causing me not to get pregnant. So just a little back history. My fiance and I have been trying to get pregnant for 4 years now. I'm sorry, this is just really personal. I've had 3 miscarriages in the past three years. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome 2.5 years ago. I didn't know I had it. The only thing I had was extreme weight gain. I gained 80 pounds within a year. I thought it was due to the depot shot birth control that I was on when I was on that from 17 to 18. I only did one shot. So I was just turning 18 when I got the shot. So right as I noticed that weight gain, I was totally discouraged from that birth control, and I just stopped. I stopped. I didn't go back and get a shot. I was all set with it. 80 pounds in 3 months is a lot, but it progressed more to almost 100 pounds within that year. So I went from weighing 140 to weighing 240. I went to doctor after doctor. They couldn't tell me what was wrong with me. I would tell them I'm not having my period. I don't eat the way it looks like I do. It's not like I'm out at McDonald's and I'm eating frickin' Big Macs and all this crap all day. I'm not. And they wanted me to see a nutritionist. She totally was not understanding me at all. She was not doing the right tests on me. And it took another year and a half before I was actually diagnosed with polycystic. And they diagnosed me through blood work. So if you are missing periods and you notice weight gain or hair growth in places that you wouldn't really get hair, like your face, you should definitely go see your doctor. I was put on metformin, which is also a diabetic medication. I'm on it to regulate my periods. My body relies on that now at this point for me to have periods, and it sucks. And the side effects of metformin are really bad. Stomach aches, diarrhea, nausea, headaches. But that went away within like a month into taking the medication. My body got used to it. But I also have Crohn's disease, so it kind of makes the Crohn's disease a little bit worse than it normally would be. Um, yeah, so my gynecologist and my doctor really were refusing to help me. And that was due to my weight at the time. Like I said, I weighed 240 pounds. They wouldn't help me the way that they would somebody with their ideal weight. So I lost around 40 pounds. My weight stays the same now, but it's not as bad as it used to be, and I'm still working on that myself. It's just really hard with polycystic to lose weight, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but it's really hard to lose weight with polycystic. So I finally just gave up with those doctors, and I found a doctor on my own, which was at a fertility center. And the first appointment, he had a plan for me. I was amazed. My mind was blown at the care and service that I got within that one appointment. He had a plan that I would come in for an ultrasound, for blood work, do the Sono HSG. So I had to wait for my period to come to do the blood work, because I had to do it on the third day of my period. And then I had to have that ultrasound on that day too. I know it sounds gross to have it on your period, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. And that was just to check my uterus and my ovaries, which they found a small cyst on my ovaries, which, I mean, that's polycystic for you. You're going to have cysts on your ovaries. I mean, not every girl gets cysts on their ovaries with polycystic, but it's obviously very common that you do. So they weren't worried about that, and neither was I. Because the way they explained it to me, I asked, like, should I be concerned about the cyst? And they said, no, it should go away within your next period. You might just feel discomfort. And that was it. So I'm not really worried about that. That was a month ago. So back to the Sono. So I had to be there at 2:30 in the afternoon, and they had me have someone bring me. So I had my mom bring me to the appointment, because they said I wouldn't be able to drive after my appointment. So I get there and I'm waiting, and you know, I'm getting nervous and stuff. And after sitting in the waiting room for like 10 minutes, and they're like, have you ever had this procedure done? And I was like, no. And they were like, you took the Motrin, right? And I was like, yeah, I did. Pants down, my pants off, my shoes off, my underwear off, and they gave me like a little blanket to put over me, obviously, so because it was cold, so just to cover myself up so I was a little bit comfortable. So they had me put my legs in the stirrups, and it was obviously, so I wasn't uncomfortable with that. I'm not uncomfortable with doctors at all. I was just uncomfortable with what they were doing to me. So what they do for this procedure was awful. They open up the cervix, and they have the clamp so it stays open. And then they swab it with, I think it was called iodine. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to mess up. But they swabbed it just to clean the area. And then they inserted a catheter into my uterus. And the first try, it wasn't bad. It didn't hurt me. It was like a little like discomfort. That was it. But I guess my uterus and my cervix rejected the catheter, so they had to reinsert it, and that was the most painful thing I have ever experienced in my life. So I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, because people did with me, and like I said, I have a strong pain tolerance. So I wasn't expecting that kind of pain. So I was just like, I was more shocked at the pain. And like I said, the procedure literally was 10 minutes, if that. I was in the room probably for 10 minutes. The thing itself was probably like 3 minutes, 5 minutes at the most. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like that hurt. And the nurse was like up at my head. She was trying to calm me down. She's like, it's okay. She's like, it's almost done. So as they had that, what they do is they inject this dye in the catheter, and the catheter balloons up. So it balloons into your uterus. That was probably the most painful part, was the balloon. It was so painful. The dye, I didn't feel. Like, you're not going to feel the dye. And then they put in the sonogram wand. And then he pulled over the screen so I could see everything. And he's like, he was telling me and assuring me that everything was okay. I didn't have any blockage. I didn't have anything. I just had a small fibroid on one of my ovaries, which he wasn't concerned about. So that was fine. I mean, I was happy that the results were good, but I just wanted to put out my experience with the Sono HSG because I was searching on YouTube and I was searching online for videos more on it, like, not to freak myself out or freak anybody else out, but they weren't that blunt, and I kind of wanted to put out a more blunt version of what it actually is in my experience. I mean, it may not be the same for everyone else, obviously, but my experience wasn't it wasn't good. And I'd like to put more polycystic videos out there, more shed the light on the situation and the subject of infertility. I feel like it's such a taboo subject, and a lot of people don't like talking about it because it's upsetting and they don't know if other people are going to understand what they're going through. Well, I understand because I've been dealing with this for years now, and I would love talking to other women with polycystic and encourage them and uplift them in any way that I can, because I know how hard it is, and I know it feels like nobody understands. I get that. Just know that whatever your peace may be, just believe in that, because you can overcome this. It's very hard mentally and emotionally dealing with this. If you really want kids, it's so hard and emotional and quite depressing, honestly, to deal with. And I don't wish this on anybody else. I mean, there's people out there worse off, but this is really hard as a woman to deal with, and I just want to help someone in any way that I can. It really eased my mind to have it done, and I'm glad I didn't chicken out. I mean, I wouldn't have chickened out if I knew that the pain was going to be that bad. But yeah, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll be posting more videos like this soon, so please subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys so much for watching, and please know that you're never alone. There's always somebody going through the same thing as you, and I know it feels like you're alone, but you're not alone. Nobody is ever alone. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Bye.